Hey, Julie here, and today I'm going to show you how I actually store all of my beads, or I should say most of them, in a storage rack and some containers that I was able to get, and I combined them actually. This is one of those 17 compartment floss organizers that looks like this, and let me get the other ones out from underneath it so you can really see it. And basically what it is, you can use it to store floss and you can use it to store beads, and it's made by Doris, and this one has 17 compartments in it. And then I also combine that storage with this, which is also made by Doris. I got this one through Amazon, and it's a jewelry designer bead organizer carrying case. And basically what it has a bunch of little boxes in it that are little square ones, and little tiny ones that are even smaller, and then some larger ones, and I'll go into greater detail. But basically I combine the two to fill up my containers. And let's get started on actually how I do this. Okay, so this is where I actually keep most of the beads that I have in my craft room and office. Right now we're in my office, and this cabinet here, or shelf, is something that my husband and I made. We used scrap lumber and quite a few wooden pins that are 1/4 inch in diameter by about 2 inches long, and they're actually holding on to those 17 compartment floss organizers. And I also have little tiny plastic boxes inside the separate compartments for the little beads that don't completely fill up the compartment. And let's see, let me show you what I mean. Okay, so once I have started using up the little containers inside the carrying case, and after it's empty, I use it for stringing supplies, markers, things that are just too big to put into the compartments or the little containers. Like, for example, I'm using this one for my braiding cords, my Kumi Himo braid maker, and extra threads and such stuff like that. And I've also used it for markers, pencils, crayons, that sort of thing, and anything else that is too big to fit into the bead compartments or bead containers. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about a couple of ways that I actually store my beads in these containers. They're 17 compartment floss containers, and you can get them from Amazon or Walmart or anything like that. And if you can see through the lid, you're going to see these little tiny plastic containers. Well, what these are is they're from Doris. They're part of the jewelry designer bead organizer carrying case, and it comes with 52 removable compartments, 2 of which are really big, and there's 8 really small ones, and the rest of them are a little bit bigger. Let me show you those in a little bit more detail. It comes like this. You've got this little cover here, and you open it up, and it actually comes with one of these spoons. I've bought several of these over the years, and it's got 2 large containers like this. I use those for storing sometimes head pins or elastics or something that are too big for these compartments and too big to fit into the 17 compartment container. And then I also use these for the little teeny tiny 4mm beads or jump rings or findings or something like that. And then these are used for anything from 4mm all the way up to maybe 12mm beads. And let me show you for an example why I use these as inside of these. Okay, this is a good example of how you can store your beads. I do a mixture. I sort them according to color, like these are all green, and this one's pretty full, and there's not enough room in one of these to put all of these beads, so I'm keeping this compartment completely for this bead. When I get down to a very small number of these beads left, I'll pull out one of these plastic containers and put whatever's left in here. And as you can see, I've got these that I can put in one of those. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so basically you just grab a hold of the beads, stick them in there, and this way, in theory, you could actually triple your bead storage space. If you only have a few of each bead, use these containers to put them into, and they can store just like that. And like these are really teeny tiny beads, and I just keep them in the little one because I don't have that enough to fill a big one. Another way you can store them in these containers where they don't completely fill up the compartment like these do is you can use little tiny plastic bags. These are, I think, 2-inch or 1.5 inch by 3-inch, and they squish pretty well, and I can fit 3 of those in one. And that's also another way you can do it. It's a lot less expensive than buying these little plastic containers, but I really like the way the containers look in here. They fill it right up. It's a perfect fit for 3 in each compartment. And that's basically what I wanted to talk about today, is how I actually store my beads. And sometimes, once in a while, these boxes are hard to close, so you can make sure that they snap. And this one can fit in here since it's pretty much by itself. You can move them around, you can label them. If you are the type to actually keep track of them in a database, then you could label the outside of your box like I did here. This one actually just says green beads, and it's got my kitty cat label. And that's basically what I wanted to talk about. Thank you for watching, and if you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the comments below. And go to paperbeadcrafts.com for more tutorials, more patterns and projects and ideas, and all the information you'd ever want and more about paper bead making. And that's it for today. Until next time, have a great day. Goodbye.